Update day! Update day! Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's been almost 2 weeks since normal Forsaken related uploads, so I'm glad to get back into the swing of things. So, what have I missed? Well, the Slasher update recently released, and honestly, it's been one of the best filler updates we've had so far. With map variants, skins, and balance changes, it's definitely a stronger update than what we usually get. However, there's also been a lot of oversights in this update, and I think I should cover that too. I'll be covering the good, the bad, and everything in between in this video. I won't be covering much of the skins this update, only the ones I find particularly interesting. I instead want to focus on the actual content they've added to the game itself. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and join my Discord and YouTube membership to support me. That being said, let's get started. First of all, I need to talk about the balance changes. These will be gone over in the order of survivors, killers, and miscellaneous, and anything else relatively minor. Let's get started with the literal supervillain on this channel, 2Time. They've finally nerfed the uncrouched stab, which has been the bane of my existence for literal months. They've made the uncrouched stab have a slight delay before the hitboxes come out, making it so that 2Times would have no longer been able to do the lap dance tech. To compensate for this, they increased the distance of the uncrouched stab length so that hitting actual backstabs is a lot less difficult, which is something I could have lived with. However, there's still a major issue about 2Time that hasn't been addressed. On paper, trick stabbing isn't even that bad. Since you can't slam your butt into the killer to stun him anymore, actually being able to trick the killer with a backstab sounds fine. However, the issue with trick stabbing is that with the way the maps are designed, there are constantly going to be blind spots on the map where the killers are not going to be able to see, react to, or even predict a 2Time. Trick stabbing would be fine if there was an opportunity for the killer to dodge it, but the issue with ping difference and hitboxes is still prevalent in the game. You could know a 2Time is about to trick stab, dodge it on your end, yet you still end up stunned. The nerf is a step in the right direction, as there is now one less way to get stunned by something unfair, but trick stabbing overall is still a problem on its own. However, I have a potential solution. If Forsaken really does want to keep trick stabbing as an intentional thing, they need to increase 2Times cooldowns. 2Time having an active, still unreactable stun every 30 seconds that heals, contributes to a second life, and stuns for almost 4 seconds is still not balanced. My jaw genuinely dropped seeing people complain about the 2Time nerf and having the audacity to say that 2Time is now one of the worst sentinels. Are we looking at the same character? I'm not falling for the rage bait this time. I got a really good comment from a subscriber, Maker Kiddo, who gave me a really good concept for a 2Time fix. I'll put diagrams drawn by my goated artist Enoch up on screen as I explain their idea. 2Time needs 2 zones, much like 1x's 2 zones of mass infection. One at the tip of the hitbox to actually register the backstab, and the normal hitbox for a front stab. Now, 2Times can't lap stab and can't backstab you from the side. Now you have more reaction time, but a 2Time trying to get behind you with shift lock or even trying to stab whilst quickly turning around. There was no need to lunge 2Time forward. There was no need for the length reduction of the crouch stab. There was no need for the hitbox being more forward. Adding on to this, it also allows both parties involved to not be punished so harshly. The killer gets hit with a second of helpless, and the 2Time at least gets something out of that normal stab before being rushed down or punished for the failed backstab. With this approach in mind, if we're going to be keeping the trick stabbing meta, something needs to be done with ovulation. In that regard, I believe only the normal stabs need a reduced fill. Perhaps instead of 3 front stabs, it's 4 this time, to discourage 2 times for only going for front stabs. Back stabs still reward with half of your bar being filled because of how hard it is to get this time, making it more skillful for you to use 2 times, as both a stealth character as well as it making it less frustrating for both people who use trick stabbing and killers. On top of that, while the change was made to remove the lap stab, it's still in the game. So, if they still don't fix this issue with the tip of the hitbox, we're going to forever be stuck with this abhorrent bug. So please, Forsaken devs, consider these changes. Well, that's my weekly 2-time complaining out of the way. So let's move on to the survivalist of all time, Potential Man himself, 007 and 7. The Forsaken devs must have seen my 007 video, cause oh boy, did they give 007 some nice buffs and quality of life improvements. Clone's weird issue of them stuttering when pathfinding has been fixed, and they fully fixed the previous issue of the clones not playing chase themes. These fixes are really nice, as the clone now moves even more smoothly and looks even more convincing as an actual player. Now, a relatively big buff is that they reduced cool GUI's wind up by 0.5 seconds. The time reduction is not a small thing either. I remember playing against the 007 in Last Man Standing, not realizing this buff, and just as I was about to hit a behead, the faster teleport actually allowed them to teleport away. Cool GUI also includes killer spawns as its teleportation points, so 007 has more options of teleporting. It's harder to predict 007 now, but still, all of these and 007 still sucks. I hope 7 and 7 gets a rework or a buff that can either let him support the team better or make him better as a survivalist, because he's the second worst survivor currently. Like, man, why does the team refuse to give 7 and 7 decent buffs or make him an actually good survivalist? While buffing cool GUI may seem ideal, it isn't gonna make him any better, and that's where the main problem lies. He cannot sustain anything in handling chases. Sure, your cool GUI teleports you a bit quicker so you could play safer and more spots are now open to teleport to, so it's harder to track you, but that's a benefit that only happens after you get a successful teleport. The same issue of 7 and 7's teleportation being cancelled still exists. It's also ridiculous because they keep indirectly nerfing 7 and 7 by doing things like completely removing certain dark parts of areas, making invisibility even more useless, and nerfing dummy 7 and 7. It's funny because dummy 7 and 7 was not even that overpowered. It was just an annoying advantage that sometimes works. I haven't met a single competent 7 and 7 that was threatening. Not a single one. Also, it's ridiculous how they support a playstyle hiding and doing nothing the whole game until Last Man Standing with him. Even as a survivalist, it annoys me severely. He should be stealth based. He shouldn't literally hide forever away as far from the killer as possible and be praying for Last Man Standing. Noob is literally such an amazing good survivalist, and that's because they actually reworked them to work as a survivalist, and all of their tools are very good at all situations. Again, I think giving 7 and 7 full invisibility for 1 or 2 seconds would actually be amazing. You know what's weirder about cool GUI to me? Most of the time, you're not even gonna use it when the killer is coming towards you. I really hope that 007 gets adjustments to help promote an active playstyle, rather than actually doing nothing. Now it's time for my GOAT, Chance baby, woohoo! A Chance buff, finally! Shoot's self-explosion damage got reduced from 45 to 25. No words can really explain how happy I am at this. One of the main reasons that Chance players couldn't take more of a risk in Chase was because after taking that long duration of flipping heads, making sure you don't stack weakness, and making sure you have 3 charges, you try to shoot, and boom, a 5% chance of your gun exploding and you're basically dead. This is even worse if the killer you're trying to stun realizes and takes advantage of the damage and the stun you've just lost to basically one-shot you. Now the 25 damage actually allows Chance to survive better. Thank you, team. But unfortunately, this buff did come with a nerf. The cooldown for shooting increased from 40 to 45 seconds, which is unfortunate, but not the worst, especially since with Chance, you're usually waiting for weakness stacks and rerolls. This longer cooldown shouldn't be devastating as it is compared to other Sentinels if their stun's cooldown got increased. Oh, hey, Shed got something. I wonder what they did. Shedletsky's fried chicken now has a sound effect when activated. Okay, as minor as this sounds, being able to hear Shed eating his chicken is quite nice, as you can now listen to the sound to take advantage of the Shed trying to heal and catch them before they try to escape. Pretty good balance change for killers in chase. And now time for killers. We've got some big ones. Let's just start with John Doe. Oh boy, the Living Legend skin really gave him so much love that even he finally got into the patch notes. Standing on top of corrupt energy spikes now give corruption 1 for 5 seconds. It's a bit of a weird buff, but it's honestly pretty nice when it does happen, so people can't abuse standing on top of spikes. And for the best John Doe buff, Unstoppable now applies for the full duration of corrupt energy instead of only just being a wind up. This makes stunning John Doe in any part of the corrupt energy a lot more dangerous now, which is really nice and allows John Doe to use this ability a lot better. 1x finally got more nerfs, and honestly the most important one. Glitched no longer inflicts damage vulnerability and instead obscures the health and stamina bar. This is such a good change for the game because I have no idea why 1x, a killer who was meant to be ranged, could delete your health up close so fast compared to other killers such as Cool Kid or Slasher. On top of that, Glitched was already such an insanely unfair and overtuned effect that made zero sense. 1x can literally already snipe you and destroy your health at close range. Why would he ever be reasonably able to blind you at all? 1x being like this literally made turning epilepsy mode unnecessary, which made it a nightmare to play against TAPH when you were killer. Making 1x cover your stamina and health bar to make it harder to stamina manage is a lot more fair, considering the current looping meta of the game, as well as making it less miserable to be in an up-close chase with 1x. However, there's still a huge issue with 1x, being entanglement. While mass infection comes with a trade-off of being massively bad for 1x if he misses, being that he loses a lot of distance and the survivor gains a stamina advantage, the issue with entanglement is that if the survivor jukes the entanglement, the chase stays in a neutral state, and 1x gets no disadvantage in the chase for missing a vital move. If the survivor fails to dodge the entanglement, they're hard punished. Entanglement is easy to tell apart because of the sound cue, but the inherent guessing game of it is annoying. 1x1 is supposed to be a ranged killer, but then why the actual hell is he so lethal up close? Not only can he pressure you from eons away, he gets more dangerous the closer he is. An up close entanglement is almost impossible to dodge unless you've got the prediction and dodging skills of a Milestone 4 noob player. Entanglement needs a rework, or it needs heavy end lag and a cooldown increase. 1x being so reliant on entanglement to have a good match makes him unfun to play as and unfun to play against. He is quite literally one of the only killers to be played in a competitive setting because of this. While 1x has a lot of cool stuff about him, and he's definitely not as egregiously broken as 2-time, his kit still needs work. Speaking of killers that need more work, oh boy, Slasher himself. You'd think since it was, his update, they'd make him more fun to play? Well, you're absolutely wrong. He's still as unfun to play as his older brother, Jason, but somehow even worse. The hitbox changes made it so that he doesn't even have comically large hitboxes anymore. so you have to get even closer to players to secure kills. Now, in an average public lobby, you wouldn't notice much of a difference, but when you're playing on a private server against your very kind, very not sweaty subscriber base, things get different. Behead is still pretty good, but compared to the punish options of killers now, Gashing Wound is honestly a complete joke. 50 damage with around a 40-second cooldown on a melee killer, with the rest of his moveset being a stamina regain once in a chase and a 180-degree hit, isn't very good compared to other killers' mobility and burst damage. However, I have realised that doing Behead while in Raging Pace is actually a good way to get bang for your buck, as it does 35 damage, doesn't waste your Gashing Wound, and it still lets you dash forward, so you can still close the gap and get closer. But it doesn't make up for how easy he is to loop and how he's been practically untouched since March. Alright, time for the fun stuff. I'll discuss the cosmetics and skins before getting into the more important stuff. I won't go over every single skin added, but I'll go over those that are more significant. And of course, with this update being specific to Slasher, a lot of Jason's past skins have been remodeled to fit the new Slasher build, on top of getting some new skins. And oh my lord, they really outdid themselves. All the new remodeled skins look so good. Milestones 1 to 4 are amazing. All of them retain what Jason's milestones were and elevated it, especially Milestone 4. Goodbye Fire Jason and hello Fire Slasher. Scene Core, Barber, Retro, hell, even Nun and Party are some notable remodels that also look sick, but nothing can beat my GOAT, Vanity. Oh my lord, the skin before may have been lacking in terms of being a skin, but the new model is amazing, adding more details to the saw and butcher knife. But the Raging Pace literally has Slasher taking off the mask, showing that it's Yeezy. It's so peak. It even has a custom intro and outro. It's ideal. Some of the new skins are also really great, with there being Home Runner, a skin based off the game Off, and Stitch Hair. There's an honorable mention to Combat Initiation. The skin didn't get a new remodel, but it got a new chase theme, and it is ear candy. This update was really made for the killers because almost all of them got something amazing. Cool Kid's DivaDayo skin is finally available in the shop for 1,500. For those who didn't get it for free during the free period, it's a neat skin with its own chase theme and minions, so it's not a bad pickup. Though the voice lines are a little annoying. John Doe finally got his Living Legend skin, costing $3,404, and it looks amazing. At first I wasn't a fan of the redesign, but after seeing it in game, it looks so neat. The animations aren't like the most super impressive, but they're really effective and work well. It also has a custom background for his intro and outro, and the custom chase theme is absolutely beautiful. 1X also got an amazing update for his Hacklord skin. Hacklord finally got his last man standing, and I love it that the song for instrumentals that led into the vocals is just Chef's Kiss. He also got a custom chase theme based off the Counter 6 Boss 3 from Limbus Company. As a Limbus Company fan, I am really happy about the new custom themes, though I do wish they touched up his animations, as they still appear really awkward and stiff. Fly high Nodi though. Maybe next update you'll get a really notable skin. I mean, he did get Missing though, which is a pretty cool skin, but they're not giving it a chase theme. I'm sticking to You're an Idiot though. But it's not only the killers that got glow ups. Certain survivors finally got some love and attention. Starting with TAPH's milestones. They are pretty unique. Instead of following the old style of just making TAPH milestones expand off their original look, like Chance, they made every milestone look different, like Shedletsky and Noob, and I'm quite happy with them. Not only do they look cool, their trip mines all look and blow up with different animations as well. It's quite unique, and I hope other milestones follow this example of making them look fresh and new rather than just branching off their previous milestones look. All I have in terms of feedback is that they should make TAPH's milestone 3 and 4 have unique throwing animations. Another big thing, the collab skins coming out. Right now, Forsaken has collaborated with BrawlR to drop the skins Brawler Noob, Brawler Builderman, Duck Slasher, and Clockwork Chance, which is won through an achievement in BrawlR. For Evade, they dropped Jarred Noob, Bobo Elliott, and Rebel Guest 1337. Part 2 of the Dark Death collab is also here, with Taunt Noob, Hot Dog Shedletsky, Caretaker Elliott, Carepad Builderman, Cloak 2-Time, Block Guest 1337, Banana TAPH, and a Love Shot skin for Chance that will be gotten through an achievement. Any of the skins that aren't achievements can be picked up right now in the shop, so if you're a fan of any of the aforementioned games, you should pick the skins up. Most of them have custom animations, items, or sound effects that relate to the game they came from. As a big Die of Death fan, I'm very happy with these new skins. Okay, now onto something very important, the new hitboxes. For me personally, I really like how well these new hitboxes have made the game for higher ping. Playing Survivor feels a lot more fair now as I can see attacks and hitboxes better. Playing as Killer, I can see how close and far I am to land my hits, which is something you never used to be able to predict on high ping. However, the issue with the new hitboxes is that the second you get below 100 ping, there is functionally no difference. People on good ping are subjected to mediocre hitboxes that are exactly the same as other higher ping players, which isn't very fun or fair at all. The hitboxes feeling so backwards now makes playing characters like Cool Kid or Noli feel much more sluggish, especially with Cool Kid's entire rushdown playstyle and using Void Rush as Noli. It gets even worse with Slasher, but I've already talked about that. Having to constantly be right behind people to hit a single M1 is extremely frustrating. I'll save my thoughts on this, as well as the bugs, for another video. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and be sure to join my channel membership as well as my Discord server. I'm finally going to finish that TAPH video as well as the Iron Man challenge. See you next time.
This is true, I saw it with my own eyes.
Please!
No, you did.
Please, boss! We can talk about this, boss!
No, I have to react. I can't do that. No, GG's.
I gotta get out of here!